Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to the next session for day three of Dare to Be Great, this virtual event that is for Dispatch by Dispatch. And we have our diamond sponsor speaker. And again, a big shout out to the 360 Dispatch for being a diamond sponsor. Thank you guys so much for everything. And our next speaker, again, diamond sponsor speaker, Amy, last name Patin. I always get it wrong.
It's totally fine. However you want to pronounce it.
Well, I want to know now. Like I gotta know.
It's Patan.
Patan, that's for I'll get it next time. Patan. See, I had it in my head and it came out wrong. It bit my tongue. Either way, Amy Patan
We
with
should have rehearsed it.
leading. I know I should have. Okay, we're gonna restart everyone. No, I'm just playing. So Amy is up next and she has her session leading with love. Take it away, my friend.
All right. I'm super excited to be here. I think this is my third Dare to Be Great session to do out of the six. So super pumped about what Ricardo's doing with this platform. It's much needed, especially for those people who can't send their people to training. That's just amazing. You have hundreds and hundreds of hours of free training available to you. So I'm going to be talking about leading with love, and I'm pretty sure when some people saw the title of this session, they maybe cringed. I don't know, but if you did, that's okay. But I hope you'll stay to the end. I have a lot of good stuff that I'm going to be talking about, and this is something that is super passionate. I'm super passionate about leadership, and if you know me, you know that this is my leadership style. I lead with love, and I lead with kindness, and I lead from the heart. I truly believe that this is what has allowed me to be successful in my career as being in the 911 profession. It's what has taken me this far. So in the comments, can you tell me if you truly love going to work? Give me a thumbs up, a heart, a comment, whatever. Do you truly love going to work? At my last agency, I was there right at 11 years. And I loved going to work. Work did not feel like work to me. Work felt like, oh, I get to go to work and hang out with my friends. It didn't feel like work to me. If I took off for a family vacation, a week or two or whatever, by the end of my vacation time, I was ready to go back to work. I just loved it. It was great. However, it was not always that way at my last agency. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit about what it was like when I first started. And then I'm going to talk to you about how we created a culture where people truly enjoyed coming to work. They got along with their people, their teams, the coworkers, everybody just got along. They got along with the field responders. Everyone had great relationships. So in the beginning of my 11-year stint at my last agency, I would sit in the parking lot when I drove up for my 12-hour shift for about 20 minutes, dreading going upstairs. I didn't want to go up there. It was mean girl culture. People just were out to get you. And I started as a shift supervisor with no leadership experience prior to that. So it was even that much more stressful because I'm coming in as a shift supervisor, but the people that I'm going to be supervising are the people that are training me. So it was super stressful. And it was just people were just out to get you. They tried to make you make mistakes. I can remember one time there was while I was in the training program, there was a scavenger hunt that was supposed to be for the trainer and the trainee to go out into the city and do the scavenger hunt together. Well, I was working on a Saturday night. It was raining and it was during the holidays. So there's crazy extra people in the city. And I was sent out. It was already dark. I was sent out to do this scavenger hunt on my own. And did I do it? No. I went and sat in the Whataburger parking lot and called one of the other ladies that I had been hired on with and told her, "You are not going to believe what I'm out here doing." So I stayed out for about an hour and a half, and came back and, marked on my sheet that, yeah, I had gone to all these different places and completed the scavenger hunt or whatever. But it was just crazy like that. Like people didn't follow policy. And I couldn't wrap my mind around, in such a professional place, like why are people this way? Like you have policies and procedures for a reason, right? So anyway, I'm going to talk to you about how or what I feel is the most important when it comes to creating a positive culture. And that's this comment right here. Your relationships significantly impact your overall job satisfaction and happiness at work. I've lived it. We got to a place where we built genuine working relationships with everybody that we worked with, not just the people on our team. We built genuine relationships with everyone inside the comm center, all the field responders, people who worked at City Hall. We just built genuine working relationships. So another thing we did was we developed a people-first culture. Our people, like the relationships that we had with our people, they didn't question whether or not we valued them because we showed them day in and day out that we valued them, we valued their ideas, and we let them do stuff that they wanted to do. That, all they had to do was come to us and say, hey, this is something that I want to be a part of that the city is putting on. Can we do that? Yeah, why not? If it's not coming in between your job, yeah, go ahead, do it. If it's something you want to do on your free time, cool. If not, yes, if you want to go to this, city committee meeting, we'll pay you overtime for it. So we prioritize fostering authentic connections in the workplace. We created a mentoring program. We just showed our people that they were valued. We cared about them. We cared about their development. So in 2012, when I first started with the city, there was a shift supervisor that I can remember thinking, oh my gosh, like this person is a shift supervisor here? How? I just don't understand it. She was rude to callers. She was rude to people who, from within the department would call. She was rude to officers over the radio, paramedics, fire. I was just baffled that she was a shift supervisor. But when I would ask people, like, how come you guys don't say anything about her, actions and, what she's doing, her behaviors? Because nothing gets done about it. That's the response I got. We don't say anything because nothing gets done. So we needed to create a culture without fear. People should not be afraid of making mistakes. Think about when you were in the training program. I can think back to my training, and I did not want to make a mistake because I was afraid that my trainer was just going to jump all over me. And the job itself is so stressful. Like, you don't need that stress on top of the stress of the job itself. People should not be afraid of stepping on toes. They shouldn't be afraid to speak up. They should not be afraid of leadership and management. And they shouldn't be afraid to come to work and be their true selves. So we had a set of values for the city. It wasn't just values that we had for our dispatch center. These values were for the entire city. So they were called CHAMPS values. And CHAMPS is an acronym. The C is for champion employee. That means basically that you're an above average employee, and you don't come to work and you don't want to be mediocre. You want to be above average. We ensured that our people had honest and open communication with each other. People were accountable and they held others accountable. That multicultural is basically, I have respect for your background, the background that you come from. And then that we put people first, and we provide superior service to our community, to our first responders, and even to the people that are just sitting next to us. So CHAMPS values, not just dispatch, but for the entire city. But these values were something that we stressed often. We start talking about the CHAMPS values during the hiring process. It's never It's never something that is going to catch somebody off guard if you go against these values and I pull you aside to have a conversation, because you know the values and you know what's expected of you. So another thing that we did was we set clear expectations, and these expectations were also something that we talked about often. So nothing is going to be a surprise if I have to pull you aside and talk to you about something that you did that was against these expectations. We had a documented list with all of these expectations, and people signed them, basically saying, yes, I agree to these expectations and you can hold me accountable to them. So I'm not going to read all these one by one, but these are just, this is what we held everybody accountable to. Praise people when appropriate. Treat everyone with courtesy and respect, not just the people that you like. Everyone needs to be treated that way. Build and maintain effective working relationships with all members of the organization, not just your team members that you work with every day. Be responsible and decisive when making decisions. Be accountable for your actions, and redirect negative and inappropriate conversations. Our leaders, and even people who didn't have a specific leadership role or title, were given permission to redirect conversations that were inappropriate or negative. You don't have to be rude about it. All you have to say is, hey, can we change the subject because it's inappropriate? You don't even have to say because it's inappropriate. Can we just change the subject? Deliver results, not excuses. Maintain confidentiality of sensitive information and treat everyone with candor, care, and respect. These are just the expectations that we set forth for every single person that was within our dispatch center that worked with us. So once we did this, there were some people who were like, not me, I'm not going to abide by these expectations. So what happened after we set these expectations and these values was that people just started leaving the center because they didn't want to be a part of that. They didn't want to come to work and be above average. They didn't want to have these expectations set on them. So around this time where we decided that we needed to make some changes, and we started holding people accountable to the values and the expectations, we had hired probably 10 trainees at one time. So we had all these trainees, and then all of a sudden people just start leaving because they don't want to be accountable to this, right? So what do you think those trainees were thinking? Oh my gosh, am I next? Like, what's happening? What is happening here? Why are people leaving? So we decided that, okay, leadership and management, we need to do something to make sure that our people are not left in the dark as to what's going on in the center. So we pulled our shifts aside one by one. So management met with A shift, B shift, C shift, D shift separately. So we talked about the values, the CHAMPS values, and we basically sat them down and said, what do you want when you come to work? How do you want to feel when you're on your way to work? What do you expect from the people that are sitting next to you? What do you expect from management? So these are the 4 different pictures of the whiteboard. Basically, we had somebody go up to the whiteboard when we asked them, what is it that you want from work, from us, from leadership, from your coworkers? And we just started jotting down all the things that they were saying. So some of them, no excuses. We want people to be accountable. We want positive attitudes. We want fair and equal treatment. We want to work together as a team and a family. So from this, we wanted to create a new vision for our dispatch center. And by us doing it this way, everyone had ownership. You helped to create this vision. So what is it that you want? This is the vision that they came up with. Leadership did not come up with this vision, they did. So it's working together as a team and a family, serving others as we would our own. And if you think about that vision, this has zero to do with the skills that someone has. That has zero to do with the work that you do. and it has everything to do with the type of person that you are when you come to work. So when you create a vision, you don't want to create it and then all of a sudden it gets forgotten, right? So we had a decal made and we put our vision under the digital clock in the dispatch center. We had new headset bags made for everybody. We put our vision on the headset bags. People had it in their email signatures. We created challenge coins with the vision statement on it. And anytime somebody did something that fell in line with our vision, they were given a challenge coin. So I can remember one time there was a shift supervisor that wasn't feeling good when they were leaving work and didn't feel like she could drive home. And she didn't live close to home. She lived 20, 30 minutes away from work. So her shift took it upon themselves to drive her home. One person drove her vehicle so that she could make sure that her vehicle was at her house. So they drove her home and then they drove all the way back to work so that that person could get their vehicle. That is working together as a team and a family, serving others as we would our own. So they were all given challenge coins. So many different reasons people were given challenge coins because of the type of people that they were, because they did something and it came from the heart, because they were kind, because they helped a teammate. So it has to be communicated often. So what does love look like at work? I can remember a trainee that came in, it was maybe her second or third day. And she told me something that made me super proud. And she said, I've never worked at a place where people are genuinely kind to each other and genuinely care about each other and genuinely just include everybody. And I was like, we work really hard for our center to be that way. Like, we don't want our center to be like every other center. We want to be the best center. So love looks like being genuinely kind and caring and supportive and understanding and creating genuine relationships, giving people your time, creating a positive environment where everybody feels safe and everybody feels valued, and extending grace when someone needs it. If I make a mistake, give me some grace. You know, I'm busy. I sometimes make decisions just, super quick, and I don't think about how it's going to affect y'all, So can you think of a time when someone was kind to you at work? Tell us about it in the comments, and how did it make you feel? The relationships that we built with each other at my last agency were truly genuine. And that's one of the reasons why work didn't feel like work to me, and it just felt like I was, around my family and my friends. So why is leading with love important? If you have teams that get along with each other, they work more efficiently. The work gets done. You can tell in the work product if a team is getting along with each other or they're not. They work smoothly. They genuinely care for each other. We had people who, if they were on opposite shifts, so if it's my day to work and I don't have a babysitter for that day, the person that works opposite of me, they're off that day, they would watch each other's kids. That's how close the people were at this agency. So people will stay if they feel valued and they feel cared for and they feel seen and heard. And like I mentioned earlier, people deserve to feel safe at work. The work that you guys do is so completely stressful that I don't want to come to work and feel like the people that lead me don't care about me. I want to feel like I am valued. So some key ideas for leading with love, and I'm going to expand on each of these, but emotional intelligence is super important. Learning each other's communication styles, important in so many ways. Building trust between the people that you work with side by side and the people that count on you out in the field. We have to promote leaders who truly care about their teams and not just the title that's going to be before their name. We need to promote leaders that are not just trying to promote for the money, because money is, it's not worth it if you're in a position of leadership, if you don't truly care about it. Creating a workplace where everyone supports each other, and active listening. So emotional intelligence is understanding your feelings and your emotions. And it's also taking the time to understand the feelings and the emotions of the people that are around you. When I think of emotional intelligence, I think of practicing the pause. And I say it a lot because I practice it a lot. I just last night I mentioned, there was a post that I saw on Facebook, and I told Joe, I was like, oh my gosh, like I want to say something so bad. I want to be petty, but I'm not, because that's not the person that I am. But that's practicing the pause. If somebody says something and it just hits you the wrong way and you automatically react, and your reaction is something negative, that's not high emotional intelligence. So how can understanding emotions be of benefit to us at home and at work? So when I made the comment to Joe about wanting to make that petty comment on this Facebook post, he's like, how's that going to make anything any better? And I'm like, it's not. And it's just going to be temporary satisfaction, right? So, of course, like I said, that's not the person that I am. So I didn't do it. I just kept replaying it over my head. So communication styles it's important to know each other's communication styles, because when you know the way that someone will accept feedback, it's so much easier to have difficult conversations. When I was in management, and even in my supervisory position, I had such great relationships with my people that they could come to me and say, hey, can we talk about this decision that you made? Because everybody on the floor is just going wild about it. Like nobody agrees with it. I'm like, okay, cool. Yeah, let's talk about it. And I had such a great relationship with my director that I could come to her and say, hey, you did this thing and this is the way that it made me feel. Those are the types of relationships that we had with each other. I could go to any one of my people and just be completely open, honest, transparent, raw. And it was fine. Like there was no hard feelings, no judgment. We just had those types of relationships. So knowing communication styles it helps to be able to navigate conflicts and resolve misunderstandings and extend grace and learn how to effectively communicate with everybody around you, because it makes the work so much easier, and the world. It helps to build positive working relationships with everyone, and also building trust. So being honest and following through builds trust. Listening to others, truly active listening to others. If somebody comes to me with an issue or with a problem or whatever, I'm going to set my phone down and I'm not going to, I'm going to give you my full attention. Respecting different opinions builds trust, and working together towards goals. So if you see in the pictures, our people were allowed to go out, and we trusted them to go out and represent dispatch well. When they did training with the SWAT team or training with fire and EMS, they got to go out and, do different activities as far as like job fairs and stuff like that. So we trusted them to do this outside of their 12-hour shift. So caring leadership is leaders who truly listen to their team. I'm listening to you without judgment, and I'm listening to you so that I can make your job easier. You're bringing me something and you're saying that this is something that the floor is struggling with. Okay, bring me the problem, but also bring me some solutions. How are we going to make it better? Because I don't work the floor. I'm not a frontline employee. So I want to make sure that I'm making decisions that are going to make your job easier, not harder. Caring leadership is helping others grow and learn. A lot of people, well, not a lot of people, but some people come to work in a dispatch center just to come to work and get a paycheck. Okay, that's cool. As long as you're following policy and procedure and you're being, positive and you're not causing havoc on the floor, okay, cool, come to work and you don't have to do any extra. But we want people who want to grow and want to promote and want to make their personal and professional lives better. So a caring leader is somebody who is going to help you reach your goals, personal or professional. Caring leadership is giving praise for good work, always having that eye and that ear and observing the work that your people are doing so that I can praise you when I know you're going to need it and I know it's going to make a positive impact. Supporting your team members when they struggle. I knew my people so well that somebody could just walk in the door and I could tell something was off. And so, once they got logged in and everything, I would go up to them and I'm like, hey, can we go chat for a little bit? That is how well I knew my people. I knew when they came in and they were just not having the best day. So give people your time. We'd have one-on-one discussions with the people who wanted to participate in the mentoring program. Let's go chat. It doesn't even have to be about work. If it's something personal that you have going on, let's talk about it. Let me, help you walk through that. And understand that they have a life outside of work. We had a couple people who had stuff that they did on their personal time that they were missing because of work. So one person came to us and asked, is it okay if I work 5 to 5 instead of 6 to 6 so that I can be to church on time in the evenings? Yeah, let's look at the schedule and let's see if that's going to work. So she actually found someone who would also on the opposite work a 5 to 5 so that they nobody's, the floor's not losing manpower or whatever. So if it's not coming in between the work and we're not leaving the floor short, why not do it? Let's do it. We had another person that wanted to talk about creating a different schedule where people volunteered the hours that they not volunteered, but they basically were like, hey, can I work these hours and be off these days? And this was an idea that this person came to me with that I wasn't completely confident in, but I knew that she was passionate about it. So I said, okay, you take the lead and you create the schedule. You get with everybody one-on-one and see what schedule it is that they want to work. And then you bring me the product. She worked on it for weeks and she tried her best. But we all know when I come to you and I say, hey, what days do you want to work and what hours do you want to work? You're going to want the weekends off. So the point is that I allowed her to do that. I allowed her to come to me with this crazy idea and I gave her running room, basically. So creating a positive workplace is another way that we built a culture where people wanted to be at work. People celebrated successes together. So in this picture, this is a shift that just got off of a 12-hour shift and they went to go work out together after their shift. That's just crazy because after a 12-hour shift, I just want to go home, right? But this is the type of relationship that they had with each other. So encouraging teamwork and making the workplace fun and comfortable. Like I mentioned before, and you guys all know this, the work is stressful and you're dealing with, everybody's worst day every day, multiple times a day. So it was nice for them to come to work and feel like I'm having fun at work and I'm comfortable at work and respecting everyone's ideas. So how could you make your comm center a more positive place? You can throw in the comments some things that you do at your comm center that make it a positive working environment. And maybe you'll give somebody some ideas. So we had a committee within the dispatch center that was called the Crew. And the Crew stands for the committee responsible for events and wellness. So these are some of the things that they did. The first picture is like we did a scavenger hunt together. And the top left is him pumping a stranger's gas. Like that was one of the things that was during the scavenger hunt. The second one is arm wrestle a police officer. Take a picture with a city employee that has a beard. Dance in front of a dance studio. The bottom pictures are Halloween costume contests. They went all out, and it was so funny to see these costumes and how much time they put into them. We had Secret Pals. We decorated for Fall Festival. We had summer camp where it had, different theme days. One of the theme days was high school day, and people would bring in pictures of them from their high school days, and we had all the pictures up on the wall. We did summer camp where, one of the theme days was formal night on a cruise ship or something like that. And people came to work dressed formally. Just all kinds of fun. So leading with love in business means being kind and supportive. I've mentioned that multiple times, and showing compassion. It helps to create a happier and more successful workplace. So these pictures are a shift supervisor. It was his birthday, and he was all about himself. So they wanted to do something for him for his birthday. And so they decorated the entire center with his face hanging from the ceiling everywhere you looked. They made cupcake toppers with his face. He would come to work wearing sunglasses. So he worked night shift, but he would walk in always wearing sunglasses. So they bought bulk sunglasses on Amazon, and everybody wore sunglasses. And then they made this fathead picture of him. And they had officers and firefighters come in and take pictures with his fat head. This is a shift supervisor, and you can just tell by these pictures how much they supported him and how much they cared for him and how much they wanted him to have a good birthday, even though he was, having to come in to work a 12-hour shift. So these are the types of relationships that were built. So just remember that small acts of kindness can make a big difference. And even if you think, or even if you're not in a leadership role, you don't have to be a leader to help to create a positive culture in your center. It doesn't happen overnight. It's something that you have to truly work. You have to work for it. And we worked for it. And sometimes you feel as though you take 2 steps forward and then 4 steps back. Oh my gosh, everything was going so great. And then all of a sudden there's this thing that happened that, we have to work through. But that's okay, because we're going to get through it and we're going to continue moving forward. So how can you lead with love? You have to establish a clear vision, clear values and expectations, and people have to be held accountable to those expectations. And you have to hold yourself accountable to those expectations. Everybody has to be consistent across the board. One supervisor can't allow one employee to get away with something, but yet another employee, is held accountable to it. Everybody has to be consistent across the board. You have to have open and honest communication across the organization. You have to be able to feel like you can be yourself and you're not going to be judged for having an opinion. You have to celebrate your employees and help them to develop. We celebrate, I just shared something on Facebook on my leadership page last night about awards. Nominate your people for awards. Show them that you truly care about the work that they're doing, because it's super important. You have to be supportive of your people and understand that they are human and give them the opportunities to have a healthy work-life balance. I didn't realize until I left my last job that my work-life balance was so poor. And I didn't realize until I was gone that I gave away so much of my time, my free time, the time I should have been being present with my kids and my family. I gave away so much of that time because I was so involved in my work. I always had my work phone with me. I always checked emails. I was always checking the schedule. Even when people were like, I'm sending you this email, you don't have to answer it now. It can wait till Monday. But I still did it because I just felt it was important, and I didn't want people to have to wait till Monday. But looking back now, it would have been totally fine if they waited till Monday. So understand that people have a life outside of work, and that work takes up such a huge chunk of your life. You want them to be able to have a life outside of work that they can enjoy and that they'll remember. Leading with integrity is super important to me also. And that's another way that you can lead with love. And leading by example is super important. And that is all I have. Ricardo, if anybody has questions. Roxy, I struggled with it so much and didn't even realize it until I was gone. But it's just something that you have to make it a priority in your life. You have to have a healthy work-life balance because work takes a lot out of you. Let me see.
Thank you again. Thank you very much. I just jumped back in here. I was working on a couple things for the next sessions that are coming up, but I've been here. I've been here and everything. Excellent work as always, my friend. And just looking at the comments, everything is awesome. I want to read a couple of them. So like Donna, she puts in here, I do things like give out silly little gifts like positive potatoes to trainees. I also give out stickers with fun and positive messages when I notice people are having a rough day. I love that. I dig it.
That's awesome.
Kevin over here says taking ideas from our team to build out response and unused office. Build out / repurpose, my bad. An unused office for our wellness room. Nice. I like that. A place to unwind during a break or in between long shifts. We'll have a massage chair, comfortable lighting, and neutral colors and other fun things. Yeah, dude.
Awesome.
I dig that. Yes. I
That's
also I took a little screenshot of your that the slide that you have up currently, something that we'll probably talk about later on during the live and stuff, but how you can lead with love. And just like everyone in the comments has, everyone's been engaging, has had all this information. And there was someone up here as well. I don't know where it's at the moment. Just have to scroll through all of it. But basically saying that they were going to send it out to their crew because everyone needed to see this one, and I love that. So for all of you who are here, make sure to join the community as well. The link is down there in the bottom. It's a big green button because all of our speakers are there, and in the attendee feed you can connect with them and ask other questions. Or it also is it's basically like any social media community. You can connect with each other, you can do DMs, like all that good stuff. You can um excuse me, connect with each other beyond the conference. And that's why I have a circle as well, so that you won't have to just come back into the comments to like read through a bunch of different things. I mean, you can connect with each other through the community and ask some of those questions as well. So again, thank you, my friend, very much for everything. I appreciate you and just everything that you do. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I just want to mention that. So one of the things that I do with Joe Serio and the 360 Dispatcher is we have a culture workshop at the ranch. It's a week long, and it's called Transforming 911 Culture. And we have multiple instructors that come in that have made positive changes in their culture at their centers. And it's basically like a roundtable. It's going to be in May of 2025, May 5th through the 9th. And you can find it on the website, joeserio.com. but it's a roundtable discussion every day. People come in and we ask you, beforehand, bring in the issues that you're having with the culture in your center, and let's talk about it. People, it's crazy how 911 centers are so much alike when it comes to culture, and people think that you can't make those changes, but you can make those changes. You just have to put in the work. And so basically the Culture Ranch is just like it's a huge resource for people to get ideas and to learn how they can go about changing the culture and making it a positive environment for their center and the people that work there.
I dig that. And so when's the next one for that one, for the culture one?
May 5th through the 9th, 2025.
Oh, snap. There you go. Get on it, because like everything else, it sells out really fast. So get on that thing. The ranch is awesome, and I am I can say, because I've been there many, many, many times, the bacon is amazing. So
Yes, yes, it is.
now all of it is amazing, and I just make sure to check it all out. It's joeserio.com, and you can find everything out there. Again, thank you, my friend, and we are going to be moving to the next sessions. There's next ones that are coming up. um, if you go up to the upper left hand corner is the schedule. There are 3 gold sponsor sessions that you can choose from, and those are going to be starting at 10 a.m. So we will see you all over there at any of those sessions. Thank you again, Amy, and to the 360 Dispatcher again for being a diamond sponsor, and we will see all of you in the next sessions.